many of those quantity you have sold, how many of the sales you have sold. So if you apply a general VLOOKUP, it will just put a VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP doesn't have any range criteria. If you read the formula, see, there is no criteria here. It's just a lookup value. Where is the table? It will return. I don't want to look up all the records. I want to look up only those records where the categories office supplies. How do you solve that problem? Probably you'll use a if-else statement. If category is equal to what is that? Office supplies, then value if true, you apply a VLOOKUP, which is a lengthy function, right? You don't have to do that kind of a lengthy way of resolving a problem. You can handle such problems with the help of database function, but there is a catch. Database functions are aggregate functions, which means if you see a DSUM, which means it will just do a sum. You cannot just fetch a value. You can fetch value and then aggregate it. Either you can do sum, average, or count. I'll show you an example. What you can do is we had one specific data, not the orders data. Okay, it is basically, it is the data. Summary. There should be one sheet called summary. You remember this sheet where we applied some kind of sorting and all in big. Please open this sheet and let me know once you have it ready. If you don't have it, let me know. I can share it on Zoom. Is it open? No. So what we want to do is we want to basically find out what is the total sales for office supplies. Okay. So total sales for office supplies, if you see here, we have how many records? We have around 10 records, which is split by subcategory. If you manually select here, this is the total sales 1298270. Now, how do we use our database functions in order to get the number? Is equal to DSUM, which means you are doing a sum of the values, okay, the range of values, okay. The first thing it is asking is basically, where is your data available? So my data is available over here. So what do you want to do here? So I want from this entire data, there is a column called sales. I want to do sum of sales. Okay, I'm specifying the column name. What is the criteria? I'll go to criteria. So here I will select this as a criteria. Please note these two is what? This is a column header, the header name, which is called as category. Value is called office supplies. So I'm selecting this, which means criteria is there is a column called category in the summary sheet where the value is office supplies. Go ahead and filter that record and do a sum of sales. I'm specifying the sales column here. Okay. Let's go ahead and run this. You can see the same number 1298270.124. Okay. Can you try this function? You don't have that file, no? Just a second. You want to read? I can
Javed,
create an email also.
Javed, sorry to interrupt in between.
Yeah,
Actually, I was searching for this file. I didn't find this. Would you be able to share that file in the?
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I'll share the file.
yeah, thank you.
Just tell me your email ID.
Yeah,
Tell me yours.
it's Ravi.
What? Can I 09 JUDY at Gmail? No? Yeah, Ravi, tell me your ID.
Yeah, it's Ravi. Dot its. It's its jobs jobs at gmail.com.
G jobs. Huh?
Yeah.
Anybody else need that file? I've sent it. Please have a look at it.
Yeah. Thanks, Evan.
Criteria is this one category should be office. Field is sales. Which field you want to do some? First, you have to select where is your data. Select your entire data, comma. Which field you want to do aggregate on? I want to aggregate sales column. So I'm giving double quotes in sales, comma. What is the filter condition? I'm saying this is my filter condition. Is it working? Will you look at it? No, this one. No. 9g at gmail.com, right? Check it.
Yeah, I got it, Javed. I'm just downloading it. I'll just let you know 1 minute.
Yeah, sure. What's your question? You remove this database function. Yeah, that is sheet name now. A78. Let's check here what is the email ID. Gmail only. Just type summary in the search mailbox. You have it here only. This is the same thing. This one. What is the error?
Why is it being
Summary A, column A you have selected. No, see my formula is A1 to G18. I have selected the entire data. What you have done is you have selected only first column.
first column? No.
Yes. Data fun na sheet name na. It's fun only.
But first,
No, you have to select
okay,
everything.
wait.
See here. You need to select like this. This entire data.
I'm not able to
Hmm.
select.
It's- Keyboard is a gaming keyboard. Huh?
Yeah.
You play games in this. Very difficult to type.
Why it was not happening?
Because the range you have selected wrong. You see your above formula and you can compare. What is that summary E30? That's wrong, no?
Which is exactly. Sorry.
See here, E30 something you have selected. E30 something I have selected. What you have to do is remove this. Go to, where is your data?
Towards the.
This one.
You have not selected that.
You're not getting. Different number.
Okay.
You are getting 11579. This is summary sheet, right? Yeah. Here also you have correct, no?
Okay.
Maybe you pull the sheet in the right side so that it will be easy to fetch. Okay, it's working up for you. You got right. What is the wrong thing you have entered in the form?
I didn't select the entire range of summary. Just select.
Exactly. You need AC.
Even I did it. I selected only. Yeah, I got it. You got it? Little tricky. Got it? Say, sales I gave to okay. After the. It was not funny. So, HPI or HPI? Which statement? I was in HP. I was at the past when HP was one company. Before this, HP and HPI. Still, I was working on HP. This one. Antonio. Antonio. Bag is gone.
Working up. Shall we move to the next topic?
WFR. In US and India, yesterday was my manager last month in US. You never know who's turning next. During operations or? I mean, do knowledge management. Learning development. No. We create articles, documents. Articles for trainings or engineering.
Working up. Wherever you are given category as office supplies, right? Go ahead and change it to furniture. And you should see that updated number. Once it is done, change it back to office supplies. So basically, what we are doing, wherever category mein whatever value of passing in a cell, it goes and do the sum of sales. If it is home office supplies, it will go do sum of sales for office supplies. Now take some time, forget about this function, think about other functions. You learned about if else, you learned about some functions, you said if else. Can we achieve this using any other function? My question, I'll repeat, my question is simple. We have some data. We want to calculate the sum of sales wherever the category is office supplies. Wherever there is a category called office supplies, we want to do sum of sales. What other functions we can do? We can use.
Subtotal we have already used.
See, we learned about if function. We learned about sum. Can we use if and sum both?
If is equal to if.
You cannot use if function because it goes at row level. What we have to do is we have to count range of cells. That is where your function is getting fed. But our question is very simple. So resolving this question is very tough if you don't know database function. Question is simple. What is you have very simple data set. You have a category wherever it is office supply, do sum of cells. Right? So that is how the database functions are benefited. Now let's add another logic to this. Same, you want to do sum of sales, the wherever the category is office supplies. At the same time, the quantity should be 5974. Means two conditions we need to pass. Category should be
quantity.
Quantity. If you go ahead and take a look at this data and filter only office supplies. Now this is our sum of sales, 1298, whatever it is number. Now I want to only do sum wherever the quantity is 5974. Only then, right? So you are passing one, you need to pass one more condition, right? All you have to do is just remove this range, add, select this two conditions. It says 203412. You said there is only one record where the quantity is 5974 and the category is office supplies. You are getting this value. So you are passing two different conditions. Only requirement is the column name should be same. If I instead of quantity, I'll add S to it, your number goes wrong. Column name should be same. Okay.
Okay, so I wanted to get the sum of the
Hmm.
office supplies as well as some of the quantity for office supply.
Sum of office supplies, how you can get.
No, we got right.
Huh.
Sum of office
You want to
supply.
get sum of quantity?
Quantity, yes.
Instead of sales, you change it to quantity.
No, I want to get both.
You cannot get it both in same cell, right? You can get it in different cell because those two are two different columns. You got it?
Got it. Sales and then we'll have to
How
get
can you
quantity.
do sum of these two at once in one cell? You cannot do it, right? Either you can do sum of quantity or you can do sum of sales. Okay. Now, just don't write it out. We'll showcase some more examples so that you know what we are trying to do. I'll change my requirement. I want to calculate the total sales for office supplies, but wherever the quantity is greater than 1500. Greater than 1500. So far, we are talking only which is 5974, but greater than 1500, which is these values. Now, what is the sum of these values? 1062341. All I have to do is just add greater than symbol. One zero six two three four. Imagine if you have to do this with if-else functions or any other function which you have learned it. You are passing two filters. One is category, second is quantity greater than. Can you try this?
Office supplies greater than 1500.
Hmm. You're getting the power of DSUM function, right? Your only change in your formula is just select these two cells, nothing else. You shouldn't be looking into your formula again. Okay. It's working, right?
Mm.
Let's add one more condition. Orders should be greater than 1000. To the same function, we have one more column. If you look at it, in our summary sheet, we have something called orders. There, we want to only do sum where the category is office supplies, quantity should be greater than 1500, number of orders should be greater than 1000. All I have to do is, instead of selecting these two cells, I'll select these three. Answer should be 281891. Based on your data, you validate it. For me, it's correct. Less than?
1,500.
You should get. You should get it, no? Less than 1,500. We have 3 records.
No,
Yeah.
order, I mean, you added.
Greater than I'm getting.
It's getting, no? 10.
Greater than I'm getting.
You can type less.
Second thing was like,
Enter.
you order,
Getting.
you, insert the orders.
Go to summary sheet.
Greater than 1,000.
Wherever office
That
supplies
you
less than.
orders
1,500.
greater than.
We need to do sum
That
of these.
it should come in between.
Yes, I'm
No,
calculating.
before the white.
Yeah. So this number is.
This is the-
Insert, you have to count.
You're trying to match quantity with quality.
That-
Okay. Like that, you can add 100 different conditions.
Just put C or D. Your D. Just D. Instead of C. It will take that range.
Imagine now we have added 3 conditions. Okay. And if you look at your formula, fairly simple. You are passing only 3 parameters. Where is your data? What column you want to do sum? What is your conditions? Imagine if you have to write any if else formula for these 3 conditions. How much formula, how much R&D you have to do? Huh? Too much R&D, right? So you can use operators. If you don't use operators, what will happen? The moment I remove operators, it is equal to, means exactly first we'll go and check whether we have category called office supplies. Yes. Quantity greater than 1,500. Yes. Do we have any orders which is equal to 1,000? No, we don't have any orders which is equal to 1,000. Either we have values like 957, 899. Exactly 1,000 do we have? No, we don't have. That's why the answer is 0. Now let's go ahead and modify one record. I'll make this as 1,000. You should see this value 91,705. 91 is equal to, which means this value is now is equal to. The moment I add operator or greater than. Okay. Clear? Now greater than. Instead of doing sum, I wanted to calculate average. All you have to do is just change the name of the formula and put DAVERAGE. No changes. Everything is same. Similarly, take a look at the screen. Instead of average, you want to do count, you can use DCOUNT. Count means number of records.
Only 2.
I mean, it is counting now. So there are only 2 records. So if you learn one function in return, you are learning how many functions? 3 functions. And once you're done, please open our sample superstore file where we had our orders data now. Open that file. This one. Done now? Everyone has this file, right? Take a look at this data. It's simple. Our sample superstore. We have the file. Don't have. That same email we had, that the one which we opened previously, day 4 ka, that sample superstore. Just save this 2 files, okay? Save this in your laptop, because the entire data analytics journey we will be reusing these data sets again and again. Sample superstore and this summary also. If you want, you put it in one Excel workbook and save it. Okay. So I'll give a problem statement here. This data, we have a lot of columns. We want to find out the order ID where the sales amount is 0.444. Using a function, you have to use some Excel function and find out what is the order ID of a record where the sales is 0.444. Sample superstore you don't have. You have practiced this, no, in all the sessions. In go to Windows and search like this, superstore. You will say you would have saved it somewhere.
Orders data.
Orders data is fine. Orders data may you just check once if these are the columns. No, we want only this sheet. We don't want all these other sheets and all. This data you have it, right? That's more than enough. So I'll repeat my question. In this orders sheet, we have plenty of orders. Find out the order ID of a record where the sales value is 0.444.
Find the
Order ID. We want to get an order ID where the sales amount is 0.444
0.444.
using a function. No, that is, you have already attended Excel session. You are saying apart from DGET, normal just Excel function.
We can identify the sum. No, we can identify the some cell.
That is the cell address you are saying. Here, I'm not, my question is not the cell. I'm not thinking in the row number 3, column number 4, I have one value I want to fetch. No, that's not the question. I have 10,000 orders. Every order has some sales amount. I want order ID of that particular record where the sales figure is 0.444. Okay. So example, I received an escalation from a sales team saying that we received just now an order with a sales figure of 0.444. We want to cancel that order, but we don't know the order ID. You are the one who is handling this entire data. Can you share us that order ID? This is the question they are saying. Now you have the data, you know the condition, you need to fetch that value. The question is again simple here, but you are taking time to digest that question, right? You are trying to map it with a function. What are some of the common functions you have thought of in this scenario? I think she has already tried writing some functions, right? You are trying different match function. What does a match function do? Why are you not thinking about VLOOKUP? What is VLOOKUP? What value you want to look up? 0.444. Where is that value? It's available here. If the value matches, you get the column number, which is the column number, order ID 1, 2, 3, whatever is it, you get. But here, order ID is somewhere in the beginning and sales is somewhere over here, right? Let's see how we can handle this question with the help of DGET. DGET is again a replacement of VLOOKUP. DGET. Where is your records? My records are over here. I don't care where is, my column and all. I don't have to worry about it. Selected entire data. What is that you want to fetch? I want to fetch order ID. Based on what condition? Condition is, I'll write one condition here. 0. Clear? Please note, there is a difference between DGET and DSUM. DSUM, DAVERAGE, DCOUNT is same function only. It is an aggregate. It will aggregate those
Count.
values, right? It is based on what aggregation you are doing. If you are using DSUM, it will aggregate. DGET does not aggregate. It's a replica of VLOOKUP. It gets a single value. This function will not work when you get more multiple values. Example, instead of 0.444, if I fetch this value 4899.93, there are two records. Now, if I copy this, see, it gives an error because there are identical records. There are duplicate records with the same value called 4899.93, so it doesn't work.
That is a limitation between VLOOKUP and this.
D. VLOOKUP में तो आप filter लगा ही नहीं सकते, first of all.
We cannot apply filter, but even though we will get the multiple value.
You will not get multiple values, you'll get any first value. Okay. Can you go ahead and apply DGET and see if it's working?
In field, we have to give
Order ID. What value you
Order
want to
ID.
fetch? I want to find out what is the order ID. So I'll either you can type manually or you just select the column name, wherever that column name is.
we inverted comma. Text in.
You got MX Master, huh? This one is MX Master.
Yes,
You bought it recently?
yeah.
Working?
Average also was not working, and this is also not working.
No. Why are you trying average? We are working on DGET, right?
Both
No,
is
you apply
not
first
working.
DGET. DGET may you tell me where is the error.
We have to select the entire range data. Then F4,
Comma.
F4 we have
Not
to
required because the formula is applied only in one cell now. No need to lock the cell. Lock it also, it's fine. No need to lock the cell also. Comma.
shut down.
Comma. Do you have a somewhere where you have mentioned sales and that 0.4? Select that both the values. Now you're getting the value, right?
Can you look this one?
Which one? D average. D average sum of A2 and A2 sales 826. Where is 826? To C27. The condition is quantity should be greater than 1500 and this is greater than 1000. Order should be greater than 1000. You have not selected headers in the range. You have selected A2 to G19. You have missed the header. What you have done is you have selected like this. Headers should also select. No? How will the formula will know that which is the header? Instead of A2, I will just type A1. Okay. You are getting the answer. In all the database functions, it is important to select headers. That is one requirement. Please remember that. Working DGET. Now, with this are the most important functions in Excel. I don't see any other function is needed for you to learn. Any problem you commit, I think I have already consolidated and minimized the number of functions. I told you 600 plus functions are there. I think we have learned around 20 to 25 important functions. Any problem can be resolved using these functions. Okay, shall we move to the next topic? We'll take a break. It's already 1:30. 5 minutes break we'll take. We'll be back by 1:36 p.m. Okay. Please go ahead and take a break for 5 minutes. Okay. And that's okay. Pivot table. इससे पहले तो हम लोग DGET और DSUM का ही बात कर रहे थे. So that's okay. How to create a pivot table? So we have the data. So control shift and select all the columns. Okay, maybe don't create now. Please see the screen so that you understand how the pivot tables can be created. Now select this entire data. Okay. As a best practice, always select the entire data, because I have seen people, what they do is now they want to create for segment wise, they maybe select only here. Later you want to build some more columns now, again, it's very difficult. So as a best practice, select all the columns, all the records, then go to insert. Then you see there's an option called pivot table here. Now there are multiple options. We'll go for the first option, which is called as from table/range. Anybody know what is table? We learned about rows. That is fine. There is a definition of table. What exactly is table? Where is the table in Excel? Both are same only, no? Table and range both are same only. Array of data means what? Range of data. Table is what? Range of data. Then why they are saying from table/range?
It's like what you were telling before, Javed. So let's suppose say you select only few data in the sheet, like range of data, 3-4 columns instead of, I say I have 25 columns total. I only select 5-10 columns, so it's a range. Only that particular range will be included in that pivot table.
Yeah. No, that is exactly completely different. So you will learn about what is the difference between range and table. I have already explained. I think you have forgotten that. So let's go ahead and create a pivot table. I'll select the first option, and then now it says, where do you want to create your pivot table? First thing is the range. This is the most important section of pivot table. What you have seen here is there is a sheet called orders data starting from A1 to column T. 10,195 rows, that cells you have selected. Now either you can create pivot table in new worksheet or you can create in existing worksheet. I'll select the first option. You see automatically there's one new sheet which is getting created. This is sheet 3. Now you have here a wizard which tells you what columns is there in your data. All those columns are available as part of the vertical scroll bar. If you don't like this view, there's an option called settings. You can select this side by side. You will see everything. But the default is this one. Okay. So now you selected the data. Now you want to create a report. First thing is rows shell. So whatever field you drag it on rows, it will create those many rows. Please note, it will create all the unique rows. Okay. Unique rows means segment mein, we have segment called consumer how many times? Multiple times we have, right?
Yeah.
Maybe there are 100 orders with the name segment called consumer. So it is repeating again and again. What this will do is it will create a unique list of that segment. The moment I drag it to row shell, we have only 3 unique segments here in our data. So automatically it got into our rows. Now there is something called values. For all these rows, how do you want to segregate? How do you want to aggregate this data? You should use always measures. Okay. In value shells, you cannot use dimension. It is always measured, something which you can measure. So now I want to measure sales, right? So I want total sales, right? I'll simply drag sales here. You see sum of sales and this report is ready. Okay. This is called as rows shell. Now what I want to do is, there is something called column shelf also. We'll see what column shelf will do. I will simply drag region into column shelf. You see the same sales information for consumer, it is now giving a split by each region. For consumer, APAC, this is the total sales for East, South, West, and then we have the grand shelf. Okay, you know the difference between rows and columns, right? Rows is over here, like this, it will come. These are all called as rows. These are called as columns. Okay, without writing a single function, you can just drag and drop and create your report. Now I'll remove segment, I will add subcategory. My report is ready by subcategory wise. If I don't want region anymore, then let's go ahead and add the region again. Now here what I want to do is, I want to filter only the shipment mode, which is first class. This entire report should show me data only for shipment mode, which is first class. I'll drag shipment mode to filter shell, and here I will select first class. This entire data is not showing for first class. Can you create the same report in your Excel? Okay. Numbers are ready, right? How do you remove decimals from this report?
There is one option,
Where?
just select the data.
Can you try and see if you can remove the decimals? You're not able to remove it, right? Why you are not able to remove?
We are able to.
You're able to remove?
We have an option that, below the general category, we can round it off the values. That option.
Try it out. Removed off. So our first report is done. This is how we can create a pivot table. Okay. Shall we move to the next topic? Let's say my next report, I got another request. I want to create a report by each state wise. Within the state, what cities do we have? And give a split of sales by region.
Sorry.
We want to create a same report. Only thing is, we have subcategory, no? Instead of subcategory, we want state wise. We have a state field, whatever states we have, state wise sales. Within the states, we also need a breakup of city. Okay.
Some of things. Twice.
In order to create multiple dimension based report, all you have to do is just drag the field right next to each other, right below the each other. Sorry. Okay. In row shell, what I've done is I have dragged city, state. Inside that, I have also dragged city. Whenever you work with multiple dimensions, pivot will automatically create a drill down reports. These are called as drill down because you see there's a plus icon next to each value. For example, Colorado, I want to see what all states. I can click on that plus icon. I'll see all the cities under Colorado. If I don't want anymore, I can again click on that icon. Automatically, the data will get hidden. Okay. You can do the same drill down on columns also. We have already added region, right? Let's go ahead and add segment. Same thing, same drill down will be automatically applied. Done now? Any questions? Will you use functions or will you use pivot table to create reports? Pivot you will use.
Pivot is more convenient. Here, some of sales we were able to do the data. What about average?
We'll put on.
That plus data. Row labels. That one, is there any shortcut for that entire row or entire column should?
What is enter column? Should expand or collapse?
No, collapse.
Right click. I should know any Excel, whenever you get in trouble, right click. There's an option called expand collapse. If you have multiple options, you can expand. Okay.
See, what I told you right now, so when we have to present the data, for some of sales, we can go to pivot. To find the average, then we have to go to the function. Correct only know my answer.
We'll come to that because these guys are getting started in pivot. Because that answer is related to a topic which I'm going to teach next. So it's like movie दिखाने से पहले movie की story बता दिया. You have to picture देखो and then खुद ही story को समझो ना. If I go and watch the movie and tell you the story, you will not like it. You go and watch the movie. Your experience would be different, right? Okay. So now this is clear, right? Now, if you get some requirement that, okay, I don't want any values right below each other. I want right next to each other. So Alabama के अंदर आ रहा है ना this city values. If you want that, you go to this design and then there is an option called report layout and show in tabular form. So these values now will come as another column. यहाँ पे report layout में show in tabular form.
We have to copy the data.
No, why you want to copy? Just go click anywhere on your pivot table, go to design, report layout, click on show in tabular form. And if you expand any state, you'll see the city is now appearing in a new column, column B. Okay, here's the most important feature, okay? Don't forget this feature, please try to remember this. Sometimes you'll get a screenshot of an image, some report, they will be given in exercise. Whatever you're seeing in image, can you create a same report? This is the data. Create same pivot table, look at that image, replicate it. And I've seen a lot of people will struggle at this stage. They don't know how to represent in a column. Okay. They'll always, this is the default feature. You don't have to do and enable anything. By default, they come. This is where we'll test. Okay. Any doubts? Now the same information, same report, we are showing sum of sales, right? We also want to show what is the total quantity. So far you're working on only one measure. Now you want to add one more measure called quantity. Simply drag quantity on the value shell. Now you'll see automatically there are two columns getting created. One is sum of sales and second one is sum of quantity. Okay. If you're feeling sophisticated, go ahead and remove whichever columns you don't need. Example, I don't need region, I don't need segment, I don't need city. Now your report will look much simpler. State-wise, what is the total sales? What is the total quantity? Likewise, go ahead and discount. Okay. Now something happens in the back end. What they will do is they'll rename Alabama. Okay, let's go ahead and rename our Alabama. Where is Alabama? How to rename state Alabama?
Filter.
Filter settings.
University of Business and, replace.
Okay, let's say I'm replacing Alabama to something ALBMS, some shortcut. There were 61 records. My records got refreshed. Now, if I see my report is still showing Alabama, how do we refresh your pivot table? Right click, refresh. Huh? It will work. Are you sure? 100%. Okay. Now let's do another scenario. I'll try to insert one record. I'll add one record called Alabama. Let's go ahead and what we need to do now? If we want to see that information. Yes.
No, it won't.
It won't work, huh? Why?
No, we have selected the range.
Exactly. So how do you change the range? Go to pivot table analyze. There's an option called change data source. Now here I have selected only till 10,195 records, right? The last record is missing, right? You can go ahead and change it to 6. Is it showing? Still not showing, no, why? Exactly. Maybe it is not part of first class, that's why. Okay. So always remember, whenever you are giving range and new records are getting added, it is important to go ahead and change your data source, update the range of your data. So those are the basics of pivot table. Okay, those are the basics of pivot table. Now let's talk a little bit about table. I was talking in the beginning of a pivot table, right? There's a difference between range and there's a difference between table. Range is nothing but, again, same Excel spreadsheet. You have rows, columns, and you have headers and everything. And whenever you call it in a function, you call it in pivot table, you are calling a range. How do you call a range? You have a sheet name, you have column name, and then you have row number. For an example, if you look at what this sheet, I go to change data source. You see here name, orders data is my sheet name. A is my column number, one is my row number, right? So this is how you will identify how to call a range. We learned about name manager, right? So you remember all this. These are the key aspects. Okay, name manager is what? Instead of calling manually by range or by column number or cell number or cell address, you can give some user-friendly name, right? What I will do is I'll go ahead and select this entire data, go to formula name manager, I'll click on new. I'll call this as orders data set. Okay. Now, go ahead here. I'll click and insert pivot table. Where is my table? Where is my data?
Right there. Okay, good.
Okay. This is called as name range. What you are doing is instead of calling through some range of records to a cell number or cell address, giving some friendly name. Okay. Now the next the next thing is you can select this entire records and press Control T. This is how we can create a table. Okay. So what it does is takes this range of data and wherever it has header, it says my table has headers, click on OK. It will automatically convert into a table. Now this is not a range. This is a table which is fully dynamic. How do you know whether this is a table or range? If it is a table, you see in home ribbon called table design. Okay. Now what happens is the catch of or the advantage of creating a tables, right, is let's say for an example, I want to create one pivot table. I'll go ahead and click on insert pivot table, new sheet. Now if I click on my change data source, it is automatically taking us order data set. Now let's say I create a very simple report by shipment mode. What is the total sales? Okay. Now if I go back, let's say add one more column called forecast. Automatically it is considered as part of my table. And if I write a formula, which is what is forecast, whatever is my sales, I want to multiply it by, example, 30%. See here, that cell, one formula which I pasted is automatically, you don't even have to drag. Automatically that formula is applied. So 30% of sales is this 0.113. So forecast is, I want to do addition of this number plus the actual sales. So if I grow my business by 30%, this is how my sales will look like at order ID level. Now, if I come back to my pivot table, click on refresh. What was the column name we created?
Focus.
You see here. Okay. I'll give you one more example because I think you didn't see what actually happened. We'll name this as forecast. We'll add one more column and we will say this as forecast profit. Same formula. Instead of sales, it is profit. Basically, I'm doing same forecast. Okay. Now, I have added one more new column called forecast profit. If I go to my pivot table, automatically that column got added. Here, you don't have to manually go and change your range. Whenever you have declared as a table, any addition to your columns, any deletion, updation happens to your columns or your data, you don't have to change it. All you have to do is right click and click push. And another benefit is the formulas. If you look at the formula, every column is not calling by cell address. It is this @ sales. Okay, that is the benefit of creating tables. Now, if I go ahead and delete, for an example, let's go ahead and delete for this record, smallest to largest. I'll go ahead and delete the first 10 order IDs. If I refresh, the numbers should change. Okay, let's remove this sum of sales, shipment mode, and if I drag row ID, you will not see anything called 1 to 10. I didn't have to change my data source. All I did is just right click and refresh. Clear? Now that's why they are calling in insert pivot table that what you want to create range or you want to create from a table. That is the difference between table and range. Clear? Can you go ahead and declare as a table the order sheet and create one column called forecast. Forecast is whatever your actual profit is now, just multiply it by 30% and add it to actual profit. Today is day 8, huh? 8, right?
It's a
Are you getting some confidence in Excel now? You declared it as table, right? Just select all the data plus Control T. I also don't know what is the other way to create table. The only way I know is Control T.
It's a forecasting.
Forecasting.
First create a table, then forecast. Why do you want to first add forecast and then? Because I told you to create a column called forecast just to know the benefit of creating table. No? The formula is completely different. After creating table, you write formula that is different.
Okay, select the data.
Control T.
Hmm.
Table blue color came.
Hmm.
Now add a column. The logic of forecast is simple. Whatever you have profit into 30% plus whatever value you get from that output plus actual profit. So adding actual profit 30% if you take from that, that is how your forecast, right? That is a basic formula for forecast. If you grow your business by 30%, that is how your profit will look like. Click on OK. Now go to the extreme right. Add one column. Just type forecast. Hit enter. See, it's automatically created. Now write a formula is equal to. No need to type. Select the cell where is profit 0.8. Let's select into 30%. Enter. T1 नहीं बाबा T2 फॉर्मूला में T1 निकाल के T2 कर दो. Okay.
What is that next? Forecast.
That is same column I have added to. One is forecast sales, another is forecast profit. You have to add only one column, don't add. Okay. Anything, any questions? So if I go back and summarize, we started with mathematical functions. We learned two new functions, count A, right? Count A is what the function we have learned. What else? There's one more function we learned in average if. Count if, right? And then we learned about database functions, DGET, DSUM, DCOUNT, DAVERAGE. Okay. Then we started with what is the basics of pivot table. There are other stuff. We will explain that in the next session, but we know how to create a basic pivot report. So important concept in pivot is the shelves. We learned how to create a drill down report. We have learned how to create a single dimension report. We learned how to create multi-dimension report, and we learned how to create with multi-measure reports where we have more than two measures. We also learned the difference between table and range. We tested some scenarios by deleting some records, deleting some columns, and how to refresh and update the pivot. Okay. So that's it for today. Thank you for joining. Let's meet tomorrow. Thank you everyone for joining. Have a nice day.